Welcome to the Influential Personal Brand Podcast. This is the place where we help mission-driven messengers just like you learn how to build and monetize your personal brand. My name is Rory Vaden, and I'm the co-founder of Brand Builders Group, a Hall of Fame speaker, and New York Times bestselling author. And this show is to help experts learn how to become more wealthy and well-known. I know you're going to love it. Thanks for being here. Let's get started.
I'm going to make this sweet. I'm going to make this short. And I'm going to tell you the number one way to get referrals. This is very easy, very simple. Give them first. If you want to become an expert at getting referrals, then become an expert at giving referrals. There is no better thing to do in the world in order for someone to give you a referral than for you to give them one first. It's an act of generosity. It's an act of initiation. It's an act of service. It's an act of you showing them that you believe in what they do. But there is also this overarching law of reciprocity that just exists in the universe. This isn't why you do it. You're not giving to get, you're giving to give. But as a result of giving value, of providing connection, of establishing an introduction, of giving something of yourself, there is this natural inclination in humanity to want to do that in return. It is harder for you to ask something of someone before you have given them something first. I think that's where a lot of sales hesitation comes from. And in this case, I think it's where a lot of referral hesitation comes from. You feel bad asking, you feel guilty asking, you feel salesy asking. And I think a lot of that stems from a lack of confidence and conviction of knowing that you have provided them value before you ask. And there's a lot of different ways that you can provide value. I'm just using this one example of what you can do is give an introduction, give a referral first. There is value in that connection. There is value in that introduction. Now, make sure it's a good one, right? But it doesn't even have to be a professional one. Like maybe it's a referral to a vendor, maybe it's a referral personally, right? But as you're thinking about your network, your sphere of influence, your clients, past clients, whatever, pay attention, right? That requires active listening skills, that requires being present, but pay attention to what people are talking about, what they're asking for. Perhaps it's just a book recommendation, right? It's a connection of going, hey, I heard you talking about this thing on our last call. I'm going to send you the link to this book and then actually do it, right? That is providing value. Perhaps you heard him talking about taxes. It's like, hey, I don't know if you're looking for a new CPA, but mine has been amazing. Let me connect you to him. Perhaps they were asking for business, right? It was an action to be like, you know what? I'm going to inquire a little bit about that. I'm going to say, hey, person, tell me who it is that you're looking for. Like, who is the great client for you? Like, I'm going to be intentional of going, okay, I'm going to genuinely think about that, and I'm going to refer you to someone. I'm going to connect you to someone. That doesn't mean they're going to buy from you, but it does mean I am listening and providing value to you through connections and introductions. Perhaps it's a podcast episode. It could be a book. It could be a vendor. It could be actual business connections. Maybe it's a personal connection. Maybe you heard someone say, hey, we're struggling to find extra childcare help in the summers. And it's like, oh man, I have a whole deck of amazing people home from college. Let me refer you to them. Y'all, like the list goes on and on. If we can just reshift how we think about connections, introductions, and the word referral specifically, it will change your mindset on what it is, because really a referral is just an introduction, right? It's a connection. And that could be to like I said, to a book, to a podcast, to a course, to a vendor, to a prospect, the list goes on. But what I know is that often the sales hesitation, this sales reluctance comes from a deep-seated issue of, have I earned the right to ask for this? Like, Have I provided enough value that would give me the confidence in asking for something in return? I know that it comes from that deep down for most of us, maybe not all of us, but for a lot of us. And I also know that some of us just are going to have that natural hesitation to ask for something. And that includes help, right? Which is really what we're doing here. We're asking for help. And so the best thing that you can do is not ask for it, but just give it. Just give it, and give it so well, and give it so freely that the person then says, that was so generous. That was so kind. What can I help you with? What do you need help with? And then you need to be prepared. Right. And that's when you need to know clearly, what do you need help with? Who do you need to be referred with? What vendors do you need to meet? Like, what clients are you trying to connect with? And that is a clarity conversation that you need to have with yourself about, who do I want to be referred to? What am I looking for right now? What would be helpful? Because I know personally, I get asked for referrals and introductions all the time, and the other party can't clearly tell me why, or who. Right? They go, anyone who hires speakers, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to need a little bit more than that. Like, what kind of speakers? What kind of company? What kind of budget are we talking about? That's on your job. You have to know exactly who you want to be referred to. And in my world, I would like to know what company, what title, what person. Because then it's an easy yes or an easy no for me. And even if it's a no right now, doesn't mean it's a no forever. It just means that I don't know anyone in that seat right now. But let me make a mental note of this so that I know for the future. And I think that's the other part about asking for referrals and asking for introductions, is it's not a one-time thing, right? There shouldn't be this huge buildup to this one thing I'm going to ask for this one time and I hope I get it. It's like, this is a continuous thing, which means you should be giving continuously. It's like, how can you consistently and continually provide value to those around you? And that means you've got to be in their life. You have to know what's going on. Could be through social media, through texting, through networking meetings, through phone calls. But this is called relationship building. Yeah, it is. And that takes work and it takes time. And that means it needs to be a part of your business strategy. This is a business growth strategy. This is a life strategy. This is this is a revenue strategy, right? You spend time in other areas of your business, and there's time carved out. Time has to be carved out for relationship building. It's biz dev, right? That's a part of this. But what I know is that the most fruitful, and the most awesome thing you can do to get is to give. But you do not give to get. You give without expectation of receipt, but you give so well that people want to give back to you. Thus, you get, right? So that is the number one way for you to get referrals, is that you simply give them first.